Alright, so I'm going to do a review of Robocop vs. Terminator. Now, Robocop vs. Terminator was a comic that came out in the late 80s, early 90s, I want to say, and was written by, of course, Frank Miller and artwork by Walt Simonson. Now, you may be thinking, oh no, not Frank Miller. Thankfully, however, I will tell you guys this is the Frank Miller who was... this isn't exactly Dark Knight Returns material, but thankfully, it's not at the level of... This isn't the Frank Miller who gave us Dark Knight Returns 2, as well as, gave us, some other less than stellar work. But yeah. So, luckily, this comic is not, this comic is actually not that bad. This is a Frank Miller who is still doing okay work, and of course, we have Walt Simonson on the artwork as well. So it's actually a pretty okay team, and for a 4-part comic, this is actually not that bad. It's batshit insane, and I'll get into that. I don't know if I'll go into spoilers. I might, because this comic's been out. But yeah, this comic, as I said before, good lord, is this thing insane, and if you like that, if you like that sort of thing, that's totally fine, but yeah. So the story is that the Terminators have nearly won the war. The war's been going on for a while. They've nearly won, and a woman... They never really give this woman's name. They just call her the Survivor or something, or a few other things. But yeah, this woman goes back in time and has discovered that the reason why the Terminators are being built and how they were built was that they were basically blueprinted off of Alex Murphy when he became Robocop. They more or less took Alex Murphy's design as Robocop and went one step further without needing flesh or whatever. So, in this, we have a woman who goes back in time and takes on Robocop, gets ready to take on Robocop and kill him just so the future can survive. However, the Terminators are like, oh shit, if she does this, the Terminators are never going to be built. And you may be thinking, well, hold on, Skynet built the Terminators. This doesn't really make any sense. You have to destroy Skynet. Why is Alex Murphy suddenly important to all this? Well, I don't know exactly. The thing is that they use the design, Alex Murphy, to base their design off of for the Terminators, but yeah, the Terminators could have been built regardless. But, yeah, it's time travel, it's funky like that. Anyway, so and here's the other thing I don't know about this, is that where in Robocop continuity does this take place? No, seriously, there is no goddamn continuity with either Terminator or Robocop, and I guess that's a good thing if you want to talk about it like that. But here's the thing. What I mean for the Robocop continuity is that I guess it's supposed to take place after Robocop 3 because we have the scientist who is, I think her name's Abby if I remember right, and she was kind of like the love interest to Alex Murphy in some way. We also have Ed 209s everywhere, and they're under the direct command of Robocop. I don't know. You see, Robocop 3 is such a terrible movie. I've only seen it so little time, so I've completely forgot it. I've actually never seen the Robocop TV show either. So, yeah, Robocop 1 and 2, baby. Robocop 1 and 2. So, yeah, we have the Ed 209s in here, and we have another thing that's also kind of irritating, and this is a very, late-era Frank Miller thing as well. This is a very late-era Frank Miller thing that followed on through a lot of his work. That being, the dialogue boxes, the monologue boxes. That's, it's so annoying. Reason being is because, it starts out as, the dialogue boxes are all white, and at first you think, oh, it's Skynet and that is giving this monologue because of how it's written up. But then there are other times where it's just like, wait, who's saying this? Is it still Skynet? Is it still the Terminators? What is going on? There are some moments in here where you're just like, really? Yeah. Now, the one thing I would have liked in here for the dialogue box is different colorations. Maybe when you're just talking about basic information, at least have it that it's colored yellow or something, and have the Skynet's monologues in white, something like that. I hope. But yeah, That's the thing. So yeah, the Terminators are back in time, and they want to keep Alex Murphy alive and make sure that that Skynet takes him out. Skynet takes his design so that the Terminators can be built. Problem is, Alex Murphy don't really like that. So yeah, Alex and this woman from the future, again, they don't name her, and they team up to stop Skynet from creating the Terminators. And the Terminators are there. They don't want to kill Murphy, but they said, we'll do everything up to killing you. And that's kind of the thing, is that from the first 2 issues, they're pretty good. The first 2 issues are pretty good. And there's actually some really good knockout, drag-out fights between some of the Terminators. And it's not just one Terminator, that's the thing. It's not just one Terminator coming after Murphy. It's a whole, group of Terminators that are coming after him. So, they go back in time. Robocop and the Ed 209s take on the Terminators, and it's a really good fight sequence. But then we get to issue 3 and 4. Oh Lord, does it get insane? Now, I'm going to spoil this if you haven't read it yet, but I don't know if I can spoil this, and I don't know if I can explain this well enough. What happens is that another 2 pair of Terminators, after the group of T-800s that were posing as a family, this time around they pose as a kid and a dog, and they manage to capture Murphy, hook him up to Skynet, and then use his body in the most weirdest way possible of basically breaking into the internet, stealing all the information, and commencing with Armageddon. However, here's now we get to the really crazy part. Alex Murphy takes his subconscious and copies and pastes it throughout the internet over and over again for nearly what I believe is 30, 40 years. So all that's left of him is just a memory of what Alex Murphy was that keeps copying and pasting like a file throughout the internet until eventually he can rebuild his body in like a version of Robocop and gives himself a jetpack. He even builds Robo-Terminators to fight under him in the final issue. It is the most insane thing, and it just each issue's first issue's alright, this is a pretty well written story. Second issue's alright, that's weird, but we can still go. Issue 3, you're what the hell is this? And issue 4, you're you just didn't give a fuck anymore, didn't you? Did you, Mr. Miller? That's the big thing. Now, is this comic bad? No, it's not. Is it great? No, it's not. But I think if you're a fan of either Terminator or Robocop, I think you'll enjoy this. I think, honestly, there's going to be some people out there. It's not for everyone. This comic is not for everyone. Even me, when I first read through it the first time around, I was like, man, this is fucking insane. What? But no, it's actually pretty good. It's the monologue boxes are annoying as all hell because again, there's no differentiation between who's saying what. So that's kind of the big problem right there. And then you have other things in here that are just equally annoying. As some of the action sequences are a little wonky. Walt Simonson's art. What can I say about Walt Simonson's art other than it's freaking fantastic? This is still Walter Simonson, who was still at the time doing his Thor run. So we have Simonson in here at his prime, and a Miller who hasn't really gone off the deep end yet. This is still he's writing some of the later stories of Sin City level Miller. So you've got a few things going for you in this comic. But here's the thing, this comic is not for everyone. This crossover is not for everyone. I would say unless you're a major Robocop fan as well as a Terminator fan, I would only recommend it to those guys. And even then, you gotta have some major disbelief here. But I think this comic does do justice to both the Robocop mythos as well as the Terminator mythos. So again, if you're a major fan of Robocop and or Terminator, then you're probably gonna like that. You're probably not gonna like this as a fan. You have to be a major fan too, because there are some references to Robocop and some stuff to Terminator that you really have to be like, oh yeah, that thing. But yeah. Again, not great, but not good. Somewhere in between. It's pretty good. But yeah, once again, hope you all enjoyed this review, and I will see you guys later.